for your girl.
That's right, it's a podcast.
It's pop for your girl.
We're trying to go out.
Pop for your girl. It's pop for your girl. Hey, what's up, you guys? It is your girl, Wigochi Alice Lewis here, and welcome to part 3 of our Girls Chat series. All right, you guys, I am super excited because I just decided to do a girls chat series for Women's History Month. And y'all, my last guest was my good friend Kia, and so what I'm doing with these girls chat, I just pull in my girlfriends and we are just having a kiki. We're having a moment. We're talking about real deal stuff, you know, the deep stuff. You know, sometimes you just sit down with your girlfriend and you just talk about all the things. That's what we are doing with Pop for Your Girl this Women's History Month. I am letting them choose the Go Girl. So my sis, Jasmine, has an amazing Go Girl. Y'all have to stick around for that. Also, we are getting into what it's really like to be a single mom. My sis, she shares her ministry. She shares what God allowed her to start out of her passion, out of her own trials, out of her own testimony, was birthed something so amazing. And so my sis is coming through to share her testimony, to share what God allowed her to birth through that testimony, physically and spiritually, okay? Because y'all will see. I ain't gonna tell y'all too much. But my guest today is phenomenal. We've been knowing each other for a very long time. I'm talking 10 years plus, y'all. And it's just gonna be a phenomenal time. You know, we're gonna get deep, but we're also gonna mellow it back out. So don't go anywhere, because if you're just looking for something to just listen to be encouraged about, something to just help you start your day in faith, y'all, this is the episode for you. So welcome to the Girl Chat, okay? It's gonna be phenomenal. So let's go, Christian Girls Chat. It's Pop for Your Girl. What's up, you guys? Welcome back to Pod for Your Girl. Listen, it is Women's History Month and we are continuing our Girl Chat series, and I got no one better than my girl, Miss Jasmine Douglas, in the building with me.
What's going on, everybody? Hey, sis.
Yes, ain't my sis beautiful? She is beautiful.
Girl.
She has an amazing spirit, and I can't wait for y'all to get to know her on this episode. We're going to just have some girl talk, girl chat.
Yes.
But let me tell you a little bit about my sis, because she wears many hats, okay? So you guys are going to be so empowered and encouraged by this episode. But she is a mom, she is a wife, she is a content creator, she is a psalmist. My sis can sing.
Come on, sis. With them bars. Come on.
Listen, she can sing, so I can't wait. If y'all got to go look her up, because she got some stuff out there.
Yeah, we got some
on
stuff.
YouTube
We got some
y'all
stuff.
Y'all can probably dig up.
You can dig up if you really want to look for it, yeah.
But for this episode as well, we're going to be talking about moms, all things moms on this episode, encouraging, empowering moms. And my sis has a nonprofit organization called Team Moms.
Come on,
so
Team
she
Mom.
be out here encouraging the teen
trying to
mom
reach
community.
the young moms,
Come
y'all.
on,
The mamas. You know
the
what I'm saying? The mamas. Yeah. The mamas
bears.
need some love. The mamas need some love.
Yes, sis, we be needing some love.
Yes,
girl.
we do. We need so much like love, hope, encouragement with all of the things. So yeah, I'm excited to talk about that, because I feel like us mamas got to talk about these things.
Yeah, for sure. And we have a special emphasis, y'all, because you know it's Women's History Month, and so I really hope you guys are enjoying the series so far. But we are going to talk about single moms in our community and how we are being impacted by different things that just exist for no reason in the culture that we do not talk about enough. So we're going to get into that in the Patcho Weave segment. But right now, I want to drive into the Go Girl segment.
Let's go.
And so y'all know I usually always do the Go Girl, but for this episode, I got my sis coming with the Go Girl.
The Go Girl.
I want to ask you, sis,
Yeah.
is there any specific woman out there in society, in community, or, you know,
just out here
all
in
over
life,
the world,
just all things. Yeah.
that may encourage you or inspire you just in your everyday life?
Yeah. Great question, sis. Because I think we have to take time to like give women their flowers, you know?
100%.
And even in thinking about that, like somebody that really inspires me is really, I don't know if you know or have heard of Jackie Hill Perry.
Yeah.
Love her.
Okay.
So for me personally, like I love Jackie Hill Perry just because I love how she knows how to move in different spaces.
Okay.
I respect like her platform, but to see her as an author, to see her as, you know, she just dropped a whole album.
She did.
Did y'all hear Practice?
I did not hear it, but I
my
gotta go listen to
sis,
it.
just go and listen to the whole thing. But even in that, like she's a mom, you know, her and her husband have a whole platform. They're content creators. She's a minister, you know, spoken word artist. Those that don't know, she started with that.
Yes.
But I love how she has used her testimony as a platform. Wow. And she didn't just stay there, but she has used it to like really grow and develop in other spaces. Yes. So for me, I think that's one of the things I love with like moms. It's like we're not just staying in the mom role. Like that is a huge component, but God has also called us to move in different environments and spaces. 100. So for me, Jackie Hill Perry definitely embodies that. To see her like do stuff with her husband, and they have this whole podcast with was it the Perrys? Yeah, so dope. Like she just did a conference, which was amazing. She's dropped books. She just dropped the album. Like didn't even know sis had bars, but when you listen, I promise you. Okay, please leave me alone. I'm telling you, that's a song, y'all. Go look it up.
Is that a song?
Please Leave Me Alone is the song. That's the when I tell you.
Okay.
So me and my kids be jamming through Atlanta, like bopping Please Leave Me Alone, because it's just one of them songs. But I love that she is exploring different spaces and finding like her own and having confidence in it. Wow. So in every arena that she finds herself in, like she has something to say and she knows how to say it. Yeah. And she's not afraid to say it.
Yeah. Ooh.
All the things.
Because society will try to back you up into a wall and make you afraid to say certain things. Mm-hmm. I do love her testimony. Yeah. I can't say like I followed her like personally. Yeah. But I see her because, you know, we in a Christian community or whatever. Right. And so I have listened to their podcast before. Mm-hmm. I have let me see, listen, because she used to do spoken word. Yeah, well, she started off that. Like, she did a spoken word talking to her future husband. So before she was even married, you know, she did, like, Dear Future Husband, like, find yourself, then come find me. Yes. That was, like, the main thing. I was like, yeah, so just how she has evolved in that. Yeah. And, again, I didn't follow her like that, but in current, because we're around the same age, too. So I look at it, too, like, she's around our age. So I'm like, to see her moving with such confidence. But also, like, looking at the text biblically, like, all of that, like, girl. Yeah. So I just have to give her flowers because when I tell you. Go, Jackie Hill Perry.
Jackie Hill Perry, like, my sis, and listen. And she be giving, like, the Atlanta that I need. Like, born and raised in Atlanta, like, she made me proud, girl. When you listen to the track, she'll understand. Yeah, she actually got signed with Reach Records, with Lecrae.
Yeah, now that I did know. She got signed with Reach.
She did.
Yes, 100%, 100%. Yeah, but I did not know. Okay, but she's based in Atlanta.
Yeah.
Did not know
her and
that.
her husband are based, I want to say they go to 2819 with Pastor Anthony Phillip Mitchell. So, you know, and he be all in these streets too. So, you know. But yeah.
The last podcast episode, his name came up.
Oh, so did it?
Talked to him about him a little bit.
Yeah, talk about your boy, modern day John the Baptist.
Listen.
Yeah.
And we love it.
I do.
We love it.
I do.
Okay,
and
because I think we said something along the lines of, we just need him to stay that way. We need him to stay that
plugged
way.
In. Say it with your chest.
Yeah,
say it with your chest. So I'm like, it be giving all the things. But no, I respect her ministry. So I want to give flowers where flowers are due. Yes, so yeah, she definitely inspires.
That's a good one. Yeah. And so y'all, with these Go Girls, we definitely want to encourage y'all. If y'all don't know about them, go look them up. Go look up Jackie Hill Perry. My sis just reminded me that she is a really good source to just, you know, stay plugged in with and just listen to and stuff like that. So I'm going to definitely, after this episode, I'm going to definitely go pull up some Jackie Hill Perry. Get into it.
Look at the album Practice. Listen to Please Leave Me Alone.
Let's go.
And then give your shout out in the comments down below and be like, you know what, that was fire. We got you.
Yes, I love it. I love it. But also, I want to give you a go girl. I want to shout you out as well. Surprise!
Okay.
Y'all know I can't do an episode without giving somebody else a go girl. No. We got to do it. My sis, I love you. And one of the reasons why I really do want to give you a go girl is because you and your husband, like y'all got to go watch their YouTube channel, the ATL Flippers.
Flippers with an S. I have to remind him because he started by himself and now he's married and I'm with him. So we Flippers.
Yes. And I love, but that right there, that part.
Yeah.
The fact that y'all were one and y'all became two.
Yes.
And y'all didn't just, you know, get married and become two. Y'all, like, y'all's whole lives like
Yeah.
intertwined,
Yeah.
right? And you knew how to do that, like as a wife, as a mom, as a supportive entrepreneur, like
Girl.
coming into that lane with your husband.
Yeah.
Like that's not easy. Like people don't
No.
understand, like it's hard to sacrifice your loves, your passions,
Yes.
and your own dreams, your own wants, your own desires. So I really want to just give you your go girl for that, because that's big. That's big. And y'all doing the thing. Like y'all out
Girl.
here flipping. Y'all out here making it happen. Y'all
All
out
the
here doing the
things.
things,
Yeah.
man. And then also my sis, she's also very, very, she has a beautiful voice. Y'all have to stay connected to this woman. Stay connected to this woman, because she has a beautiful voice, and she has so much in her, not just with her nonprofit, but I believe God has so much more in store for her. But
Aw,
go
sis.
girl, and keep
you,
going.
girl.
Don't stop.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
keep going. Keep
Thank you,
going,
sis.
we know how it is. Well, I know. I know how it is out here in these streets
Out
for
here in these
moms,
streets, yeah.
wives, business owners, all the
things.
things,
Yeah.
like trying to make everything work. Like,
Yeah.
man, sis. So just talk about it a little bit. Talk about
Yeah.
your journey with ATL flippers, with Team Mom,
Teen Mom, girl.
T-E-A-M,
Working with Teen Mom, T-E-A-M.
working with teens,
Yeah.
TEENS.
You got it, girl.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to
Yes,
spill
gotta
all the
break- gotta
things
break it
today,
down for the
okay?
people so
all the
they
things.
know what we talking about.
I love it, though. But thank you so much again for having me on here. Like, I think
for
this is such a
sure.
dope platform to just be able to talk and share and encourage other people. So even when you say, like, navigating all the things, like, sis, it's been a journey. It's been a journey. So me and my husband, for those that don't know, like, we were educators. So, like, my husband was a teacher, taught private school, public charter, all the things. And God really called him to, like, start a business, the ATL Flipper by himself. Well, at this time, I was in school. Like, not in school. I was going to school to get my master's. I was working at a company, worked in higher education as a director of admissions.
remember.
Yeah, used to work
Yes.
with international students. I loved my job, sis. When I tell you, they were paying for me to get my grad degree.
Wow.
Let me just say that.
Wow.
They was paying for your sis to be in school. So I was very content. Like, we had our kids and stuff like that. But really, he was doing the business for a while. And I remember him coming saying, babe, like, I feel like this is something God's called me to do. So I'm going to do it. And I'm like, I got you. I'm a support. But I'm going to stay here and I'm going to keep working this job. Because, and he did it for a few years. But it was something that kept saying in me, like, it's time to transition. You know how sometimes, like, when you're in a career, but you feel like you've reached that cap and you feel like, all right, I'm here, I'm coasting, but there's more. And I remember when I left my job, I had worked there for 7 years, sis. Very, very good. But while I was working, God gave me the vision for Teen Mom.
Wow.
So I started writing the vision for the nonprofit. So for those that don't know, I was actually pregnant with my daughter at 18.
Yes.
So my beautiful JJ,
Yes.
and I went through that journey of being a single mom,
Yeah.
having to navigate the things, figuring life out. And now I have a little person with me while I'm in school. And so, praise God, like, I had my daughter. I'm so grateful. But God started giving me a vision right when she was turning 10 of saying, you got to share with other moms, like, your story and your journey. So I'm writing the vision for Teen Mom. I'm working for the company. My husband's doing business. And literally, like, God gave me the vision for Teen Mom of really uplifting young mothers between the age of 13 to 21. Because that's a unique window of, like, as a child, you're raising a child. You know what I'm saying? And
for
the
sure.
expectations and things like that. So literally, with the company, I turned in my notices.
Yeah.
And literally, like, within that week, I got the approval of my tax exempt status. Like, the same time for my nonprofit. So I'm like, okay, God, I see you. Like, and so I got the approval for Teen Mom. And then my husband comes to me and was like, babe, because at this time, I'm thinking I'm going to just work another job and do Teen Mom, you know?
Right.
And he was literally like, babe, I really feel like God is telling you, like, to come work with me. Aww. And I was like, yeah, no. That's not the Lord. That is not the Lord, okay? We just, I was like, you need to go back and pray, because I've been praying.
Go back and pray.
And I was literally going through interviews with companies. So
Right.
I had gotten job offers, but none of them really settled, you know?
Yeah.
And so I remember just being like, you know what? Like, my prayer was, I want something that's going to give me the finances and flexibility. That was my goal. I wanted finances, flexibility to do Teen Mom. And literally, like, praying about it, because I did. I humbled myself and prayed. The Lord was like, go work with your husband. Stop playing. And so I ended up working full time with him in the business. And so ATL Flippers, we literally like resell items. And so we used to do thrift stores. We would buy items for cheap, sell it on eBay. And now we actually get storage units and stuff. But the business, literally when I started working with him, we started YouTube. Now he was doing YouTube already, but it was something about, you know, that black melanin coming alongside of him with all of the things. And so, so we started doing the channel together, and there's not a lot of like black entrepreneur couples doing what we do in the space that we do it in. So we literally saw from our YouTube channel, it just started taking off.
It did.
So now it's like we were doing YouTube videos, we were getting storage units. I'm still working Teen Mom. And literally God had to remind me, everything that you asked for, you got it. You got it. Like I wasn't looking to be a YouTuber content creator, but to see like God grow our channel. So within a year, we got our channel monetized on YouTube. So now we're getting revenue from like the ads coming in. We're getting revenue from the business. Now I'm working Teen Mom with the things. And so everything just started to come into alignment, you know? And so, but to your point, even as a mom, like within that window, some kind of way your girl got pregnant again. Some kind of way, all right? Some kind of way. I don't know how it happened. So, but then the mom duty started to kind of take over. So this was now my third child. So I had my daughter from 18. We have a son that's now 6. And then I got pregnant with my youngest. He's now 1. But that ended up kind of taking a lot of time. And so having to pivot, you know what I'm saying, as a mom, and still show up as a wife, and still show up as... And so, but it was a beautiful season. Like, I'm not complaining, but it definitely had me kind of rearrange some priorities. So I feel like, sis, I'm just now getting back to that place of like breathing and like reassessing, like, okay, God, what do you have for me in this season? You know? So that was kind of like a long story, but it in a nutshell with the things.
It's so good because I know there's somebody out there who can relate. You know what I mean? Like, it's so crazy. Like, I feel like all of us moms, we're the same. Like, people don't realize it. Like, we're the same. It's so much like even my last guest, some of the notes what you're saying are in her story.
Oh, wow.
You know what I mean?
That's
and I
cool.
can relate to both of y'all. And like, so I feel like so many people out here can relate to how that happened and how God, like, you know, flowed and aligned the pieces. And, you know, it's almost like a transformer. Like, you got the red transformer over here, you got the blue transformer over here. But then God is like, I got all the pieces.
All the pieces.
And then watch me just transform you into what I need you to be. You know, but the key is obedience, right? We always just got to be obedient.
Say it again for the folks in the back, sis.
We got to be obedient, okay?
Girl.
We got to be obedient so He can transform us into that main big... What is it, Megatron? I don't know.
Megatron. Listen, our sons, we both have sons. We should know the name. What's his name? Optimus Prime?
Right.
Whatever his name is. Transform. With all the things.
Kids' analogies. Okay?
I know. Yes.
Transformers.
Transform.
So, I love it, girl.
That's good. And I would definitely say I have seen as a mom, as a wife, like that transformation that you said is so key, because it took humility, sis, to be able to say, God, not my plan, but your plan. You know what I mean? Like, I had an idea. Like I said, I was getting my grad degree. So I had my master's in executive leadership. So literally, I was being groomed to be like a VP, all of the things. Like, I'm like, I got my path. And the Lord was like, that's good, but it's not me. And we have to distinguish sometimes, like, the good versus the God, you know? And literally, like, I remember when I was in that window of transitioning from my job, and I had gotten a job offer. It was the finances. It was a career move. You know, all of the accolades. Like, it was going to give me the freedom and flexibility. And I remember seeing it and the Lord being like, yeah, turn that down. And it didn't make sense because, again, I didn't have anything else lined up. Like, I had turned in my 30-day notice, you know, loved the job that I was doing, but I was just like, okay, I know God is shifting me. And sometimes when He's shifting, we don't always see the full picture. You don't. But it took like, okay, God, I'm trusting you. And when He said turn that down, I'm like, okay, Lord, so we just out here. I ain't got no plan B. Like, it is fully following you, but to see on the other side of my obedience, and not in the brag way, but just like seeing how God came through. And He always does. Like, we have to remind ourselves, but seeing now, like, I have the freedom and flexibility to like be available at my kids' school. Like, I have the freedom and flexibility to show up for my husband with our business. I have the freedom to focus on my nonprofit, but I don't think I would have had that level if I would have said yes to the job. Now, I still could have done it.
No, 100%.
But at the same time, it's like, what was God saying? And to to your point, that transformation
Yeah.
that God desires in us, it really just takes obedience
Yes.
and humility, because I had to
Yes.
humble myself to work with my husband, y'all. Because for those that know, you know my husband, sis. I'm like, Lord, you sure? Like, you sure? Like, let me go back and pray one more time.
Oh, God.
But to see the beauty of like submitting and being
Yes.
able to like serve alongside
Yes.
my husband, and how
Yes.
God used us coming together to elevate the business that he was doing. It wasn't that he wasn't successful, but there was another layer and level.
layer.
Yeah,
Yes.
that I was able to bring to the business, and now it's coming together
Yes.
because my husband's weaknesses are my strengths.
Yes.
And vice versa. So
Vice versa. Y'all
yeah.
make it-
So whether
yes.
it's in marriage and for us in business, like we were able to see the beauty of that, you know?
I love it.
So yeah, girl.
On the other side.
On
She
the
said on
other
the other
side.
side. Did y'all hear that? Okay, I need y'all to let that simmer. It's something on the other side, okay?
On the
And
other side of
when we
obedience.
humble ourselves, that part too.
Yeah,
Just
girl.
humbling yourself and just allowing God to do all the things.
Yeah.
Like, and y'all
Yeah.
I want y'all to, don't get it twisted. Like, humbling yourself is not just like you wake up one day and then you're like, God, humble me, and you're humbled. No. It
Yeah.
is like a daily thing that you have to like go back and say, okay, there was a little bit of pride there. There was a little bit of
Come on,
haughtiness
sis.
there. He asked me
on.
to do something, but
I ain't trying to do all
I
that.
was a little bit,
I
I
ain't
was a
trying to
little
do all
bit.
that. Trying to tell me
I
about
was a
myself.
little bit too, and you got to go back to God and be like, okay, God, dang,
Yeah.
I was a little bit. Okay, let me come down, And so, but the more you do it, the more you start to like work it out. The more God starts to work it out, and the better y'all become working
Yeah.
together as a unit.
Yeah.
And then you wake up one day and
Yeah.
evolved,
Yeah.
right? As a married couple and as a
Evolving. But
entrepreneur
yes.
couple,
Yeah.
so many things, there's so many layers, but
good,
nevertheless,
sis.
love your journey,
Thank you,
love your
sis.
story, love the ATL flippers, love
Yeah.
everything about y'all and what y'all doing. Love the
you,
babies,
sis.
the kids.
All the kids, sis.
Man, they gonna be little mini flippers.
Y'all, no, when I tell you, so we do take our kids like on our videos to storage. And, like my husband was editing a video this morning because we had to take our son. Winter break was just the other
It
week.
sure was.
So we still got to work when the kids are on break. So
Listen.
literally, like we had our sons at the storage unit recording videos, and our son is
See?
like cracking jokes in the background.
See?
But it was beautiful to like let them see, that entrepreneurship side of like, this is how we pay our bills, son. This is how we do what we do, and for them to see that, and have a desire to help.
Yes.
Like for me, that's been everything. So.
Ooh,
Yeah, girl.
come on, baby.
I know, little mini
go.
ATL flippers, girl.
Let's go, man.
Yeah.
All right, sis. So we're gonna jump into another mom.
Okay.
Rihanna. Okay, we're gonna talk about her story a little bit. Y'all already know our good sis Rihanna, founder of Fenty, Black billionaire. Listen, it's Women's History Month. We already talked about Jackie Hill Perry, but let's talk about another boss woman out there doing big things. Do y'all wear Fenty? I wear Fenty. I love the makeup. I'm sorry.
The whole line.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I love the lipsticks. Love everything about what she is doing, y'all. And y'all already know, like, she started one way. She started as an artist, but then she slowly evolved, like what we were talking about. She slowly evolved into being well, I don't even know if they married.
Are they?
Honestly.
You know what they got going on, girl?
I don't even know if they married. Hold on.
But,
A$AP Rocky, somebody tell us.
I mean, yeah, are they? I know they did, but
together.
Yeah,
but
girl.
I never saw like a wedding.
Did he ever put a ring on it?
No, I don't think so, because it would have went like viral.
It would've
like
went
we would have
big,
seen
yeah.
some things.
People would've followed along.
Yeah, so not her husband, but her boyfriend, baby daddy. We
Okay,
gonna go with
that
baby
is
daddy.
true. That's a true
Okay,
statement.
That's a true statement.
So,
we're gonna
yes,
go with that.
okay.
So she became a baby mom. Okay, she became a family woman. She became a business mogul out here, and she just slowly went away from doing music, y'all. And one thing about me, I love to see women have it all, because I feel like we've been told for so long that we can't have it all. We can't have like the business. We can't have the family. We can't have,
all
the
the
good
things.
relationships. We can't have the friendships, right? We can't have like, be out here and support the community, volunteer. We can't advocate, right? We got to choose. We got to pick, right? But for men, for some reason, they can do it all. You know what I mean? And
They
so
have all
when
the support.
they have all the support,
They have all the
right?
support.
But the thing is, I love to see when women can do that, especially my women of color, especially my Black women, y'all, because for real, we have been at the bottom of the totem pole for so long. So when something aligns and when it shifts and when it comes into place where we can really dominate in an industry, especially one as the beauty industry, where you've always had like the L'Oreals, you've had the Olay.
Yes.
We've had the Estee Lauders.
Yes.
We've had all
Girl,
of these things.
you know all the things.
Kylie Cosmetics. We had all of them like at the top for so long. And then here comes Rihanna, just like a force to be reckoned with, right? And I don't even think people probably underestimated her. They probably like capped her to be able to say like, well, she's only going to go but so far. But no, my sis, like that, all she needed was Fenty to push her over into the $1 billion mark. Okay?
Which is crazy. Like my husband actually like bought me a Fendi thing before because like I knew of it, but I was just like, okay, like it's for the skin
some good
tone.
stuff.
Yeah.
It's some good stuff, sis. No, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, so he had to make me a believer. I'm like, okay. But I can appreciate, again, moving in different spaces as a woman and as a mom. Like, I can always value and appreciate that. Like, yeah, you sing, but listen, I can also do the business and I can also do the entrepreneurship and be a mom. Like, to me, it's like, yeah, that's always to be celebrated.
It's so beautiful.
Yeah.
It's so beautiful. But I do want to talk about something else that just kind of happened to her. And, when I saw it in the media, it just hit my heart because I was like, dang, like, she might end up being like a single mom, like out here raising her kids on her own. So those of y'all who follow ASAP Rocky and Rihanna and everything, like y'all know, like, he was accused of some things in the news. And I'm going to just read it to y'all because
what was he accused
I
of,
can't
sis?
even,
What
okay,
they say
so
about your boy?
We have your boy, ASAP Rocky. He was charged with 2 felony counts of assault with a semi-automatic firearm. Now, this incident happened in like 2021, but at the end of the day, it involved one of his close friends, which is ASAP Relly. I guess they used to be in a group because you got the both ASAPs. I don't know.
How'd that work? Okay. Keep going, girl. Keep going.
Okay.
Girl, them names.
But, so they used to be close, but he basically was involved with the incident with his former friend, and the incident ended up having him facing these 2 felony charges, okay? And so I don't know about y'all, but felony charges comes with prison time, okay? So he was really looking at some prison time, y'all. And when I saw that in the news, in the media, I was just like, dang, like she's a whole billionaire. She's a whole boss woman. She's out here doing her thing. She has worked so hard to get to where she is today. But at the end of the day, you have this one thing, which, I'm so torn of which way I want to go because you have this one thing coming in and it could just change your whole life.
It changes a lot.
Forever, right?
Yeah.
And so even though Rihanna has all of these things, all of this stuff around her, she was facing potentially being a single mom. So I'm going to talk to my good sis Jasmine and just say, how does that make you feel? Like, you have this billionaire and then you have her, she's worked so hard for a life that she wants.
Yeah.
Like, to be facing something like that, to be facing like raising your kids on your own, having to take them up to the prison to see their dad,
right.
Like,
and okay,
that's
so
hard to imagine.
I'm torn on the conversation, sis. Let me be honest.
Okay.
Because I personally believe that as our wonderful women, you got to choose wisely. Let me start with that. So, okay.
Going somewhere else.
Okay, I'm sorry. If we being real, you got to choose. And I'm not just saying that. I don't follow Rihanna ASAP like that. But when you talk about like women in our community, choosing wisely is so important.
That's good.
I'm not taking away from like whatever the charge was or the felony. But in reality, sis, if they weren't married, you're already single.
Yeah, you're right.
You already, you know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like one of those things, like I hear what you're saying, but for me, and I'm saying it from the standpoint of I've been in that position where I didn't choose wisely, right? And so then certain things that happen, well, if you look at the character of the individual or how they carry themselves, certain things is going to happen based off of how who you associate yourself with. Like you said, who's your crew? Because I guarantee you, she probably said something about his little janky friends. Let me just say, for every woman, we do be saying, I'm telling you, like women, we can see stuff a mile away. So it's one of those things too, where it's like, if your boo thing is not taking heed to the wisdom, right? Because I promise you, whoever ASAP, what's the joker name?
Relly.
Not joker, I'm sorry,
Relly.
y'all. Really, whoever really is, I promise you, your girl Rihanna probably said something about him like you need to watch him.
Yeah.
So if you choose not to, right, and then you surround yourself, and now all of a sudden, whatever pop off,
something happens.
yeah, it's like, because again, to your point, when you get to a certain place in your career and whatever it is that you're doing, you gotta have wisdom on who you surround yourself with, but you also gotta have wisdom on who you connect yourself with. So
100%.
to me, with the Rihanna, like you handling your business. Like when she came out with that work song, I don't even listen to her, but I was like, that's my jam. Like when I was at the gym, I put that on and I'm like,
you going.
She in there. She in there.
Tuned in.
But
you
that's what I'm
in.
saying. But like when you're on that level, you got to be on that same level when it comes to matters of the heart.
That's good.
And that's just my personal take on it. So I don't look at it like, dang, was she gonna be by her? Well, you already single, sis, if you're not married. That's just me.
You right.
And everybody may not agree. This may not be for everybody.
My sis is right though.
But it's kind of one of those things where it's like, yeah, it's kind of like great that he got acquitted, but at the same time, bro, don't put yourself in a situation like that when you got kids and you got somebody that you're tied to and you know that her name is going to be in the media because y'all connected.
Yeah.
Even if it's not even dealing with her, even if it's not even, Rihanna got her own business, but because y'all connected, we are connected to whatever the media is, whatever the portrayal is, whatever the narrative is, it's going to be Rihanna's boo. Rihanna's boy, like, you know what I'm saying?
She was all in it. Like they had her.
And it had nothing to do with her.
It didn't have nothing to do with her, but she was at the courtroom. They had her pictures out there. They had her, everything. Yeah. All in the mix.
But who you associate yourself with, it makes a difference. It makes a difference. So that's my take on it. So, but I hear you. Yeah. Like I'm willing to hear all the conversations, but that's just my take, y'all.
I mean, y'all
choose wisely.
Drop in the comments because we want to hear from y'all. Because at the end of the day, there's another reason why I wanted to tap into this conversation. Okay, because there is a judicial system out here that I think has plagued our community for so long. And so we're going to kind of get into that with the Pat Your Weave segment. But, when A$AP Rocky, when this thing happened, I was just like, God, please don't let him be a victim of the judicial system, okay? Don't let him be a victim of, just getting into the system and never coming out. And now when you come out, you got to be on, probation. And then
it's a whole
it just runs.
System.
It just runs and it just follows you. And then, so we're gonna talk about it a little bit, y'all. All right, so first of all, let's get into the judicial system. Yes, A$AP Rocky. Okay, wait. Let's close this out with A$AP Rocky and Rihanna first. Okay, he was acquitted, and A$AP Rocky did express his gratitude to the jury, stating, "Thank y'all for saving my life," because he realized, like, as a black man, to be facing a sentence. Listen, I'm sorry. I don't want that for none of my brothers out here. I know some people do deserve it. Some people you know what I mean? Some people like the murderers in them. Okay, yes, go to jail. Go to prison.
You going to jail.
Okay, go to jail, okay? But, this was a different type of situation, and I do feel like they would have probably tried to make a statement out of him, like just lock him up.
Well, all you had to do is even with the Young Thug trial that we just had not that long ago.
True.
Not that long ago. True. It was a whole situation. And, for us here in Atlanta, like that consumed the media.
Yeah, but.
And after it all.
I don't know. I'm impartial.
You think he should have got locked up, sis? Lock him up.
Don't hate me.
Put him away.
Don't hate me, but he was doing some things, y'all.
Listen.
The evidences had showed it, okay? But, we ain't going to get into
Okay. But I'm just saying.
But
it was very entertaining, though.
We going to. Maybe another episode. But I will stick by my statement for the black brothers out there. I don't be wanting y'all to go to jail. For real. So we thankful that Young Thug is okay.
Yeah.
He not,
Let's be consistent with the statement.
And he's not in the system because I be feeling sorry, girl. I be feeling bad. Girl. All right. And then, so also Rihanna, who attended the trial, she shared her relief on social media. And she did say some things along the lines of, we give God all the glory and we thank God because God intervened. I'm not quoting her, but she did. Thank
Paraphrasing.
God. Yes, on social media, okay? And so for me, y'all, though, I do want to just talk about the judicial system. Communities of color, particularly Black and Hispanic populations, face higher rates of incarceration due to systemic biases in policing and sentencing, okay? And this fact came from AmericanProgress.org. So I want y'all to go to the site and look up the stats and the rates and everything for yourself. Do not take my word for it, because at the end of the day, I feel like we got to educate ourselves. We got to be in the know. We got to be woke in this season. So go look at AmericanProgress.org. Also, this overrepresentation leads to significant, I'm going to say it again, it leads to significant disruptions in family structures, often resulting in single parent households, okay? So here's the deal, you guys. Let's run it back. Let's talk about the facing Black and Hispanic populations facing higher rates of incarceration due to systemic biases, okay? So when we talk about systemic biases, this is saying that there is a system that exists. We cannot see it. It's not tangible. You cannot touch it. But at the end of the day, it does exist. Behind the judge's office, behind the law, there's a systemic bias that does exist, okay? So when they look at you as a person of color, when they look at you as an individual who just committed a crime, they look at the race. They look at, what's going on with you. Are you poor? Are you wealthy? Is it blue collar? Is it not? They look at all of those things, and now there is a bias that starts to be created, and now your sentencing may be affected based upon it. Now how your case is treated may be affected by it. Now the way people treat you, now that you're in this judicial, I don't want to say room, but you're in this judicial law, legal type of situation, now you are subject to the biases of the court, right? And so I want to talk about that a little bit, and I want to talk about the root and where this comes from. Wait, first, let me not ignore my good
It's
sis
okay.
here.
I'm taking it all in, girl.
Okay. And then we can dive in and talk about it,
definitely.
y'all. Okay, so let's talk about where this comes from. The roots of this issue trace back to policies such as the war on drugs in the 1980s. Yes, y'all, the war on drugs in the 1980s. So we are all the way in 2025, but we can trace this all the way back to the 1980s, okay? Which disproportionately targeted communities of color, leading to mass incarcerations and destabilization of families. These practices have perpetuated cycles of poverty and systemic inequality. Now, I know we started off talking about Rihanna and A$AP Rocky, and it would have been a little different because remember we said that she is a billionaire. She is out here. They got money, okay? They got money. So yeah, the only thing that really would have been affected was her household and her sons growing up with somewhat of their father being absent in the household, which we know is something that is really big, right? And so I want to talk about that. I want to talk about what this does to the mom's psyche, having to raise their kids on their own. What this does to the children's psyche, having to go without their dad in the home, and how this trickles down to finances. And because at the end of the day, you already have these families where most of the times they are already living in poverty, especially if you're talking about in the 1980s, you're taking Black men, you're taking people of color out of their households, and their households were already struggling financially to get to a place where our other friends, our white friends, okay, we're going to always call them friends, we're doing way better. At the end of the day, it's just not fair. It's not fair. I don't even know the words
just
to say.
It
It just ain't fair. We taking dads out of the houses, sis.
Yeah.
So chime in. How you feel about that? But I know
I
said a lot.
I
said a lot, but
it's
you
good.
can chime in on any one of those topics.
You said a lot of things, and I appreciate conversations like this because I do feel like understanding the data, the history, the why behind the things. You can't always just look at what's going on right now. You have to look at why.
Yeah.
Where did it come from with all the things? But I will say I have a unique or different perspective to it, which I'm like, because for me, I definitely understand the dynamic of what happened in the 80s and even before that. You had a lot of different things that were happening, war on drugs, like you said.
Yes.
And so when you look at it, I think for me, modern day 2025 is looking at how do we as a community take accountability right?
Okay,
Like
okay.
what does accountability look like? Because to your
Okay.
point, yes, there are absolutely things, whether it's drugs, people getting locked up for charges because whatever, you got an ounce of weed or whatever the case may be. Like I literally have a family member that just got released from jail who was locked up for 7+ years, had a son. You know what I'm saying? And literally, like the son's mom had to raise him, and he's literally just seeing his dad for the first time last year, locked away. But
That's
at the same
hard.
time, there's a level of accountability where my family member was guilty.
Okay.
He was. Like,
Yeah.
there was a crime. It was embezzlement and all the things. I ain't got to go in detail.
Okay.
But as a family, what we were looking at is like there was a pattern over time with my family member that we spoke to years before he got locked away. And this was federal charge.
Okay.
And in having conversations, a lot of it was pushback of like, oh, well, such and such happened, or this is why I'm doing this, or because he didn't have a dad, right? He didn't have a dad in his life. But again, it's one of those things where when we see it as a community, like how do we hold our brothers and sisters accountable? I'm always going to look at that.
Yeah,
Like
I love that.
I do
We do gotta
understand
hold them accountable.
the systematic, but it's like for me, sometimes you can get so caught up in the systematic side that you miss the brother or sister aspect of like, if you
Yes.
see a brother or sister in a certain pathway, even if it is the drug or whatever, why intentionally put yourself in that situation and not listen to wisdom?
Yeah.
That's usually what I found, and not taken away from the systematic and the stats and all the things, because I do, like I've seen the data and the stats, and I know that people say it's disproportionately, but I also look at a lot of times we did it, sis.
Yeah. But
Like-
what do you say about like, okay, not saying that we didn't do it.
Yeah.
But like even the sentencing is affected by this systemic bias. So like, let's say you did do it, but the sentence is going to be different versus if it was someone else, like a white person.
Yeah.
So like the sentencing doesn't even match.
Yeah.
So like you have a white person who does and commit the same crime, but then you have a black person or a Hispanic person that is in poverty, living off of welfare. And because of that, the bias is different.
Yeah.
So they will sentence this individual different from the way they sentence this individual.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that they shouldn't be punished, but the bias comes in where it's like, it's not equal. It's
Yeah, and I think it's, to your point, it's more so a poverty issue. Like I don't look at it like it's because you're black or white. It's like, bro, these folks got money. You don't, like, even when you look at the bail system, like for my family member, like bail, you know what I'm saying? Like you got to have that money. Like a lot of people
Yeah.
don't talk about that. Like whatever the sentence is or whatever, if you got to do 10% or this, that, and like it really is an issue of if you got the finances, great. Like you said, Rihanna with ASAP.
Yeah.
Even if it was bail, it ain't nothing to drop some money or whatever the case may be and get them out.
Yeah.
But it's definitely like, I think one of those things where I do hear what you're saying, like the fairness and the equality of it. I always just try to balance that out with like, before we look at a system, let's make sure we look at ourselves.
True.
Once we look at ourselves,
100%.
then if there are things built within the system, absolutely. Like we address
Yes.
that. We have, the lawmakers, the legislators, those that are putting those things in place to look at it across the board with the things. I think just for me, what I found, even in working with like our moms and different things, like, yeah, majority of the moms are black and like, minority or whatnot. But that doesn't mean that it's not white moms that don't deal with certain
Oh,
things.
no,
So,
for sure.
you know what I'm saying? Like, it's
Yeah.
always to me just that balance of like, I hear the systematic argument and I'm not negating it. I always just push back to say, let's start with us first before we
yeah.
look at them. Does that make sense?
No, I get it. And I think that is a whole nother conversation that we do need to have. I think that you do have people, like, let's just say your organization, like Team Moms is for all moms.
Yeah.
It's not just for black moms. It's
Right.
not just for Hispanic moms. It's for all moms that are affected by being a teen mom.
Right.
Or not having enough
Yeah.
in this day and age to make their motherhood work,
Yeah.
right? Okay. And I love that. I'm not taking anything away from that. I think that is wonderful and amazing, and we should be doing that. However, when you really look at it, when we go back and we look at the data, which I wish I had the data. If you give me some time, I could
okay,
probably pull
sis.
up the data and we could pause it and then, actually have the conversation around the data. But when we really look at the data, I know you're going to meet more black moms and Hispanic moms.
Yeah.
I know the race thing is going to play a factor in it because it's the world that we're living in.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
there's more of us that are in these predicaments
Right.
based off of things like the war on drugs. And that transfers down. That's why we have like, generational curses and, on the opposite side, there's generational wealth, right? We have these things that pass down and now we get all the way to 2025 and we're dealing with things like, our baby mama situation, and we're dealing. I don't know the best way to say it.
Baby mama.
I don't know the best way to say it, but it
yeah.
trickles down because your dad is not in the house. Now your son has to be raised up without a dad,
right?
And now they got to figure it out for themselves,
right?
And they may get introduced to different things in
all
the world
or the streets, right?
The streets,
they raise them up.
They go and get somebody pregnant, and now they're absent,
right?
Mom.
It's a domino effect, yeah.
Now they're absent dad,
right? Absent dad.
You got to step in with teen mom, and you got to be like, hey, I'm here for y'all on the opposite side,
right?
But at the end of the day, on the other side, we have a trickle down effect that causes things like your organization to be necessary, right?
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that race is the main factor, but it is a factor, right? And so I want us to like still acknowledge that, but not say that we can't be accountable, because we do need to be accountable, because at the end of the day, nobody told you to go get that weed. You know what I'm saying? Nobody told you to be out here in these streets. You know what I'm saying?
Y'all
you
out here
could
in
have took
these
a better
streets.
route. Like, I know somebody personally who grew up in the 1980s, who grew up in Jersey, who grew up,
and you already know Jersey,
was exactly going on,
prime
whose
time
family, everybody but him in his family was affected by it.
Yeah.
He lost people in his family to the war on drugs.
Yeah.
But he chose to go to the military. He chose to say, hey, I'm not
completely different
I'm not
route.
about that. I'm not about that life. I'm going and I'm going to make a better person for myself. You know what I mean? And that's what, he is a anomaly, right? So we have every now and then where you're going to get people who say, no, I don't have to go that way. Yeah. But then you still going to have people who feel like their situation, that's all they know. Like they can't figure their way out, right? Yeah. So, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know, girl.
Listen,
because it's very heart aching, but I do. All right, I hope you guys enjoyed part 3 of the Girl Chat series. And like I said, y'all, this has turned into a Christian girls chat because y'all already know. Y'all already know who I keep around me. Y'all already know who I got in my corner. Y'all already know, okay, the people that's going to be on this couch is going to be faith. It's going to be full of purpose. It's going to be full of vision. It's going to be full of manifesting what God has called us to do, okay? That's what we talk about, okay? That's just that's in our nature, okay? And so I hope you guys are enjoying this. Tune in next week for our finale right here. We're going to be rounding it up with our last second part of this episode. So you guys do not want to miss it. We have the faith-filled segment with my girl Jasmine, and it is going to be phenomenal. So come on back to the girl chat, okay? Come on back to the girl chat. Invite somebody, tell a friend to tell a friend so you do not miss it. This has just been a wonderful, amazing Women's History Month. You don't want to miss the final episode. Pop for your girl.
That's right, it's a podcast.
It's pop for your girl.
We got to go out.
Pop for your girl.